Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Cricket is an IVM production, and if you have enjoyed this episode, you can also check out their other awesome shows like the Rediscovery Podcast, where Ambika and Hoshner looks back at their travel experience and journey across India.
You're listening to TFG Cricket.
Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of TFG Cricket Podcast. We are back in the studio. I have Vivek Krishnan with me, CP Thomas. My name is Nikhil, and we are here to review the entire IPL season that has gone by, the 10th season. After this, most of the players will go into the auction. But as the last season, after the 10 years, did it live up to the expectation, this season of IPL?
CP, can you please start? I've been talking for 2 months non-stop. So,
see, living up to the expectations, answering that is what is your expectation? It starts with that. Compared to many seasons, I think this was a little under par. There is no doubt about that. Yeah, I've read reports about saying most exciting IPL. Some 19 or 20 matches went to the last ball or second last ball. That's the most till now. Yeah, when two bad teams are playing, it will go to the last ball, okay? Or two teams which are underperforming play, it will go to the last ball. That's been the story of this IPL. In a nutshell, I mean, great performances, we'll get into all that. But when you have three big teams, and I'm talking about RCB, Gujarat Lions and Kings 11 with batting lineups that are...
Kings 11? Are you sure?
Yeah, with Hashim Amla, Martin Guptill, Miller, Maxwell. On paper... Morgan. I mean, envy of any team. Come on, to have a batting... Compare that with the Pune Supergiant batting lineup. Yeah. You will think they'll just sweep them over. Okay, so when three huge teams underperform, I mean, and that's 3 out of 8 teams. Okay, and that means it's a bad IPL. It's you can't have an IPL where 3 biggies, where 15, 16 batsmen, the best in the world, are in these teams, and they end up in the last 4.
In fact, in the first week of May, we started seeing teams, they are like out of the competition.
I was coming to that,
I mean, so naturally under par. There's no doubt about it. Great matches, great performances by youngsters, some cameos by big guys like a century from Steven Smith, 1 or 2 classics from Dhoni, Ben Stokes innings. You can pick and choose a Sunil Narayan 50. Unusual 50, but far and few between. But where is Virat? Where is even Warner? Highest scorer, 541 runs. Last year he scored 870 or 900 runs. Yeah. Yes. Virat scored 973. I mean, between them they scored 2,000 runs. Yeah. I mean, look at that. So either the bowlers have really become very good, or
but we can say that this IPL was a bowler's IPL.
Well, I'm not too sure. I think the batsmen didn't live up to their billing, and quality of cricket, talk about quality of cricket, very ordinary in my opinion. And the reason I want to talk more on David Warner being the orange cap holder, getting only 560 odd runs, I would put these things to fatigue. We have to understand that all these professionals have been playing non-stop, leading into the IPL, the India-Australia 4-match test series. We saw what happened with Ashwin. We saw how Jadeja was just a shadow of himself. Yeah. We saw that with so many others. Even the South Africans, Miller, too much cricket, Virat Kohli, AP de Villiers. So when you play so much cricket, normally it's the other way around. All these guys peak and are at full fitness during the IPL, and then, they just go very cold for their international duties. But this time the IPL suffered. And in the process, there was no quality. Bowlers IPL, I'm not too sure, Nikhil, because what we saw from all these teams, barring Mumbai and SRH, bowling was very, very ordinary. A classic case of Jaydev Unadkat, Shardul Thakur, or even a Basil Thampi. These guys didn't do anything extraordinary. In my opinion, all that Jaydev did was he was the fastest left-arm spinner for Pune, in my opinion. I mean,
but
this was.
I would like to. So the batsmen thought they were playing a fast bowler,
Yes.
so they got foxed.
Yes, and KKR's loss, Pune's gain. Why do I say that? Because he played for KKR and he was honing his skills under Wasim Akram. Straight away, Pune picked him. I don't know why. Like I said, they exhausted everything on Ben Stokes. They had no option. They were just. I clearly remember this. Stephen Fleming and a few more other. I could not recognize them, but they were just quietly sitting, folding their hands. One bowler after the other came up. They couldn't buy them because there was no money. They were forced to buy Lockie Ferguson and Jaydev Unadkat. But look what Unadkat has done. So. But like CP said, if you are not able to play someone who's bowling at 125, 130 becomes predictable, then boss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Washington Sundar, Jaydev Unadkat, Shardul Thakur.
Washington doesn't spin the ball for.
No, I can understand. 7th match of the IPL, you get bowled out by these three. 8th match, you get bowled out. 9th match, you get bowled out. In the playoff, you get bowled out by Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar. I mean, look at the think tank of Mumbai in the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, think tank can play the match.
Absolutely.
They're so good. I mean, and you had Pollard, you had Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma was trying to sweep Washington Sundar in I mean, it was poor batting. There's no doubt. The matches became exciting because even the final, it was a case of who batted worse that day. Whether Pune it was as simple as that. So Bombay tried to make it a really exciting final by batting so badly. Then Pune came and said, "No, hum to isse bhi bura karenge." You know,
Yes.
so it was a simple case of which team batted badly.
Okay. Now, since we are on Mumbai and Pune, let's talk about these two teams. You know, in the league table, they finished 1 and 2.
And that's one nice point I would like to. For a change, the league table held 1, 2, 3, 4. They should have finished off after 14 matches and said, "Isko trophy de do, isko runner up de do." And
For the first time in 10 years, the team that topped the table went on to win the championship, or rather the IPL.
Not even Rajasthan?
No. Rajasthan. Okay. I don't think Rajasthan topped the table. No, I'm not. Yes.
Okay. So, but I'll tell you what. You know, I was very scared if Kolkata would have won. Pehla match ऐसे ही gift में मिला. Being fourth.
When we did the preview of each and every team, I said it will be either KKR or Mumbai. Correct? I said that.
Yeah.
And look, because you just see both teams. KKR ने बहुत shock दिया. Shakib Al Hasan didn't play a single match. I don't know what happened. There were theories that he would pack up his bag in the morning, take a bus from Kolkata to Dhaka, 5.5 hours, eat lunch at his home and come back for the evening game. So, I don't know why they didn't play him. Chris Jordan was another prolific all-rounder in my opinion. Just played one game. Faf du Plessis services weren't required. So it just goes to show the whole thing has to change, Nikhil, in my opinion, and that will only happen if 2 more teams get introduced. I really hope it happens because you have so many class players warming the bench. It doesn't help the product. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help anybody. So one way to attack this problem is by introducing 2 new teams.
Yeah,
coming back to the question, Mumbai, why did they win the trophy? For 2 reasons. One is there are stars in the team, but a Parthiv doesn't rely on a Rohit, a Krunal doesn't rely on a Hardik, a McClanagan doesn't rely on a Johnson.
Yeah.
This is why Mumbai Indians won the trophy. Number 2, you look at their bowling. You need serious nerves, man, to defend 130, and it was not a difficult wicket to bat on. I understand the situation. I also know what was at stake, but defending 130 against Pune, not to say Pune have a very formidable batting, and then to bowl out KKR in a pressure.
They have proved it in the whole league.
No. Once Ben Stokes was sent to Spain for drinking beer, they had lost that mojo straight away. I still cannot believe how they won that playoff at the Wankhede.
Yeah.
The back was broken, man. So despite all that, they won. And you talk about Mumbai. So Mumbai won because the bowling, they bowled out KKR for 107.
Yeah.
In such a high pressure game, KKR had a magnificent batting lineup. And look what they did. So, bowling acha hai, you win the trophy. SRH were very, very close. I still feel, had that match been played for 20 overs, they would have really given KKR a run for their money.
Yeah.
They might have even pulled off a dramatic win. 128 with Siraj, Bhuvneshwar, Rashid and Siddharth Kaul and so many others.
On that pitch.
Man, yes. It was a very tacky wicket and so much pressure. And KKR this year, very strange, haven't lived up to their reputation at all.
Okay, we'll talk on the other teams in a bit. But CB, your thoughts on Mumbai and Pune?
Yes,
Just a one-run difference. Does that actually brings out the champion?
This is a bad format. We know one run.
Yeah.
It just shows that one run here or there could have changed
Yeah.
the game. So forget it. The best team won. There's no doubt. Best team in the league won the trophy. That's what matters. Okay, if Pune had won, I would have been disappointed for the simple reason that it wasn't the best team in the league. Okay. So like we have analyzed, there are certain. We talk about Ben Stokes and having an impact. Jaydev, Unatkar. We have analyzed that. Why? I mean, we are surprised why those bowlers could do so well consistently against teams and players who have played. Bowlers were 10 times better. Ben Stokes. Everyone talks about the high impact that he had. I think his presence, that intangible value he brought.
Yeah.
But when you look at the figures, everyone says he scored 316 runs in 12 matches. Out of that, you remove 103 of one match. It's just 210.
Well. He didn't play 2 matches because he was injured.
Yeah, 12 matches he played.
Yes, 12 matches.
So 12 matches में 316.
Yes.
उसमें से 103 निकाल दो.
Correct.
It's 210 runs.
Yes.
In 11 matches, which is not even 20, average of 20 per match.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but his impact was there. He bowled those 4 overs well. He was
fielding.
a live wire on the field. So, and to know that Ben Stokes is in your team and he can change a match helps.
Yeah.
So, he brought value to the team. So, Pune actually was revolving around Ben Stokes mentally. And then they discovered these bowlers by default. It's not. They tried Dinda and Deepak Char. They tried Rahul Char. Imran Tahir from nowhere. मैंने वो तो बेचारा IPL खेलता भी नहीं.
It was a shocker to see him go unsold.
Yeah, he was shocker to see unsold. And then Mitchell Marsh gets injured.
Now here is the conspiracy.
And you replace him with Imran Tahir.
Now here is the conspiracy. Somebody must have walked up to Mitchell Marsh and they must have said, you know what, we are going to make you the scapegoat. You better get injured and you go back to Australia. We want Imran Tahir. I mean, because had he not been injured, the IPL rule says that you cannot buy any other player.
Imran Tahir set the campaign rolling for Pune.
No doubt about it.
In Bombay against Bombay.
But
in Pune against Bombay. The first match, they were going great guns and Imran Tahir came and first over mein Rohit Sharma, somebody took and then the match just swung.
But I want to talk more on Stokes here. I'll finish this very quickly. He said Stokes didn't contribute with the bat. Now Stokes comes in as an all-rounder. If you go back to match 2, 3, 4... 2 wickets, 3 wickets every game.
Yeah.
And he walked away with the man of the match in both games. Not for his batting, but for his bowling. And when the time for the Willow, when the time came, 103 in no time, a 50 in no time. So that was his balance, and so that's
one thing about
impact.
Mumbai.
And for the first time in many years, 14.5 crores. That is a dreadful figure. 14.5 went to Yuvraj, 16 went to Yuvraj, 14 went to Dinesh Karthik, 11.5 went to Irfan Pathan. Disaster.
Yeah.
So I was very, very nervous. 14.5 crores to one man. And
he lived up to the expectation.
But he lived up after the first 3 matches. First 3 matches, we were a little skeptical. Is he doing its worth and that? And especially after Pune won the first match and lost 3 in a row. There are all doubts. But I'm saying Pune, they have been lucky at one level. There's no doubt. But I have read Stephen Fleming saying something that they also won because they read the conditions at every match right. He says that, luck played a factor. His bowlers stuck to their plan and everything worked. Now in hindsight you can say that. But if that worked, well and good. Why Mumbai won is because they were the most consistent team through the tournament. They didn't have to tinker with their lineup except for a few changes. Once they were in the playoffs, they changed those 5 players for one match. I think the only mistake they did was trying Ambati Rayudu in the fag, and especially when Nitish Rana had been contributing and he was steady, that lineup was looking very, very solid. So other than that...
No, but that's the thing. I mean, one more point I want to put about Mumbai is the bench strength was so solid that any replacement was a first team.
Now, see, the thing is, now you realize Pune's bench strength was more solid than their first.
Well, in fact, again, a blessing in disguise, CP here, because the moment they finished the match and they looked at the bench strength for the next match, they saw Dinda sitting there. Yeah. They said no.
Exactly.
And they said, okay, come what may, we are ready to lose 6 in a row, but we'll go unchanged. And that's where, again, not too many people realize Pune played the same team. Last 6 matches, no change at all. The only change was Stokes bahar gaya.
Yeah.
Again,
and
Usman
Ferguson came in who was hammered.
Flash in the pan tha ek match ka, and uske baad mein he was just asked to bowl an over or two. Again, that was a game changer in that match.
Yeah.
Pace on the ball. He gave away 3 boundaries in 3 balls to Rohit Sharma. That because CP said Stephen Fleming read the conditions right, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Because the pitch was too paced. You should have gone with a Sundar or a Shardul Thakur or a Jaydev Unadkat. Lockie Ferguson had no business bowling the 6th or 7th over.
You know what, but when we were previewing Pune, we said that there is just plan A. There is nothing else. And a lot of experts have said that these all top players need to perform. And I guess all the teams thought that, this is the plan of Pune, but this all fringe players came up.
So they found the plan A in the 5th match. So, so first 4 matches they experimented, and then they found that you don't need a Faf, you don't need even a Ben Stokes. They won a match without Ben Stokes.
Yes, even Adam Zampa was warming the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
This was another Rajasthan Royals story, because you saw Ravindra Jadeja, Swapnil, Asnodkar, so many of these guys coming through. Likewise, Washington, Unadkat, Chahar, so many, not Chahar, Shardul Thakur, so many of these guys. So,
okay, let's talk about the bottom 2 teams.
Bottom 2 nahi, 3 bol.
Acha, Delhi ko bhi nahi.
Yeah, of course. Oh, disaster.
Bangalore, Gujarat and Delhi.
No, actually all 4, even Kings 11. See, Kings 11 just about by that last flourish of winning 3 matches out of 3 and probably the 4th against Pune where they collapsed, but they would have had some run rate chance of it. All 4 were equally bad. Okay, if you take out the last 3 wins of
Bangalore
Kings 11,
was, worst in the lot. We can
I do agree.
Since you said that for the first time the league table stood up to its, first, second, third, fourth, wo bottom mein bhi वैसा ही था.
Bilkul. And that was decided very quickly. And Bangalore said, we are firmly occupying the last spot. Nobody is going to, take this position. And Delhi said, okay, our position is gone, because normally they finish 8th.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, then we'll fight for the 7th position. But Suresh Raina's team said, no, aisa nahi ho sakta hai. We'll play. Okay. So 2 things happened for unfortunate. Dwayne Bravo didn't play a single match. So somebody like a Bravo who gives you that balance, who gives you that impetus, who gives you that, he is the impact player like a Stokes. He can do some amazing things on the cricket field. He was not there.
Should I answer this right now?
Please go ahead.
A team which has a batting line of Brendan McCallum, Aaron Finch, Suresh Raina, Dinesh Karthik, Dwayne Smith, Ravindra Jadeja. You want another Dwayne Bravo to come and save them?
I'll tell you what.
There is absolutely Dwayne Bravo, Ayan. See, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying you can't have. Now I told one lineup. I'll tell you the next lineup: Chris Gale, Kedar Jadhav, AB de Villiers, Virat Kohli, Shane Watson,
Travis Head.
I mean,
Stuart Binney nahi tha.
You can't have these teams losing match after match after match. I can understand 14 में से 7 हार गया and चलो.
But does it say something about the format that if you go with such a huge batting lineup and not
the
concentrate?
The format worked last year. The format, one point is what Vivek said, fatigue. Virat, AB, except for Gale, all these guys and Suresh Raina, all these
Gale was more of mental fatigue in my opinion.
I think they just had too much cricket, and absolutely they had no pressure of winning or losing this IPL, which I found very strange. Usually IPL is one of the most high pressure tournaments. There's a lot of pressure about winning, and in this I want to say one point that probably a pressure from the owner helps. If you look at it, at one level, having to answer the owners sometimes for a team helps. Because here there was a teams which like Gujarat, I think, said ki last year, yaar, khela, nahi khela. There's absolutely no pressure. I mean, atrocious shots some of those batsmen played.
If the two of the best, McCallum and Finch, can't pick up Jasprit Bumrah.
100 for no loss. A partnership between Smith and Ishan Kishan. And
125.
And Faulkner, Raina, Dinesh Karthik and one more guy. What did they do, man? So that was a real shocker. But I genuinely feel bravo because he would have contributed more in the bowling department. And again, a classic case of how your strength can be your weakness and vice versa. Strength, batting lineup proved to be Pune's downfall, and Pune ka weakness turned out to be their strength.
Yeah,
that is IPL.
That's because the others' strengths, which was batting, all contributed wickets to Shardul Thakur and Unnat Khadan.
I understand form can go up and down, but you have to be accountable. At the end of the day, there is so much at stake. I understand after the first 5 games, you lose 3, then you doubt yourself. But where is the intent, man? The intent from Delhi Daredevils, Gujarat, like CP said, I don't care, man. I just have one final 1 month to go in the IPL. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go hammer and tongs. I don't care about the outcome. And that is not the right way to approach this tournament. You have to be answerable, boss. There are people following you, fans traveling from one end to the other in our country to cheer for you. And which is what Virender Sehwag said when Kings 11 collapsed for 63 runs. He said he picked up the foreign players because the foreign players were his main bats. He said none of them showed intent. You start losing 1 wicket, 2 wickets. The third guy has to play sensibly. Yeah. It's now almost like a template. If you lose 2 quick wickets, number 3 and number 4 steady the innings, take you to 10th or 11th over. Even if it is 60 for 2 at the 10th over, you have 10 overs to score another 120 runs, which is possible. Dhoni showed that even 40 runs in the last 2 overs is possible. So it's almost a template how to play. The first guys come out like KKR experimented with Sunil Narayan and said his wicket is to give away. पहला बॉल पे आउट हो गया ठीक है, 30 रन बना के आउट हो गया तो ग्रेट, 50 बनाए तो brilliant. And that's what worked. So they were sacrificing his wicket. So they had followed a template, and it's very simple. Same happened. That's why I say it was a batting nightmare even for Mumbai. When they lost Lendl Simmons and Parthiv Patel in the finals, what did Rohit Sharma or Pollard or Hardik or anybody do? Nobody steadied the innings. Ambati Rayudu.
Thanks to Kunal Pandya, who had his brain
always.
Had his place.
It was like he had nothing else to do. He had to hang around there. By the time 6 people were in the pavilion. So it's a classic template. There's nothing to think now. 20 over mein kya karna hai? Everybody's played so much of this format. How can Virat say ki, in the end he was saying ki we were almost laughing ki abhi ho gaya. I mean, come
that
on.
Is unacceptable. And that happens only in India. Chalta hai attitude.
And for the foreign guys, some of them who have made their names, they are here for the money. There's no doubt about it. Take if things work out well and good. McCallum, Finch, Maxwell, Hashim Amla, Martin, they all know. And they're not particularly bothered ki next IPL mein liya, nahi liya.
Well, you a few dollars here and there won't make a difference.
But the Indian guys had to stand up. I mean, Virat, not a single innings of
substance.
Absolutely. Unpardonable. Either he's lost interest, either he's lost form, either something has gone wrong. How do you explain that?
That will be seen in Champions Trophy.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about this.
Well, that is the only positive. So had Virat played, had he repeated his heroics of 2016, everybody would have said, this is what Virat Kohli does. And all eyes would have been on him. And now if he flops in England, So I'm glad he flopped, because this is, grander
Pick
scheme
up
of
point.
things. This is very important.
Okay, let's talk about this bad luck team, or rather a champions in hindsight, Sunrisers Hyderabad. One bad game of rain affected, and they are like completely out of the tournament. But orange cap holder, purple cap holder, emerging player, sub unke team mein tha.
Balanced man, and no over analyzing or overthinking. Very clear, like he used the word template. This is what we have to go out and do. David Warner is the man calling the shots. Go out there, express yourself. Fortunately for them, Shikhar Dhawan came to the party.
Yeah.
And then they made a blunder of dropping Kane Williamson for the first 2 matches. I just didn't understand. Glad they rectified it immediately, got him, and look what he did.
Yeah.
Aplomb, man, 91, playing shots in the V, just a 6 here and there. Very neat, and that's how T20 cricket can be played. You don't have to go ballistic, man. You don't have to do all that. So, Williamson. And then, so there was a concern in the middle order. Like always, Yuvraj can be he can be extraordinary one day, next day, mere pedestrian. He can do that. And then you have Naman Oja, who only believes in contributing with the gloves.
Which is,
Sharma.
I think they used Naman Oja he didn't get any chance to play. He can really take on a attack, and he can sometimes, you wish that you go outside the template and do something like KKR did with Sunil Narine. You need to use this place, because sometimes by the time he comes in, it's too late. So I think
that was like one position that Hyderabad never thought of. Idhar kuch changes karna. Unlike Delhi, where they were like 5.
They had 10 keepers for starters, and Delhi just need a reason to toggle around with their team. But SRH, the fact that they had Bhuvneshwar, Siraj, Siddharth Kaul, Rashid Khan. Now, the fan garage has been talking about Rashid for a year and a half now. So we should take so much pride, man. We introduced him to the world of cricket. And I hope somebody is listening, especially from Afghanistan. So, again, these guys, very formidable team. And because they were defending champions, Nikhil, they knew how to approach this format. And you could see, yes, they were stuck at 15. And there was a sense of, they had so much calmness, man, in their team. Tom Moody, they were dancing. You remember that video that came out a day before they had to play the knockout match? It was a knockout for them, quarterfinals. And bad luck, what happened. But I still feel, if you look at the league, very fair result, the better team won. It's as simple as that. Yes.
But that rain-affected match against Bangalore could have fetched them 2 more points.
Could have.
See, the ifs and buts to both kuch rehta hai. That is, see, the thing is, finally, the format says you have a playoff, you have an eliminator. See, but we shouldn't take away credit from KKR on that day. Their bowlers did a great job. So, SRH was playing another team with a great bowling attack. That was their...
And the strategy from Gautam Gambhir or, I don't know, Callis, Simon Katich to attack David Warner with Nathan Coulter-Nile and Umesh Yadav. 6-7 overs of serious hostile bowling, man. Nobody in this world likes pace. I don't care where you're playing, against whom you're playing, and who you are. If there is...
Or any format.
If there is pace like fire, you are going to run for cover. It's as simple as that. And that's what happened to SRH.
Okay. There was one thing that was very surprising in this seasons of IPL, that players like Shakib, Jordan, Faf were warming the bench.
I think Vivek has said that we need 2 more teams. See, there is enough. If the best players in the world are going to play, we are just thankful that only 8 countries play this game. Can you imagine if 32 played?
Take Mumbai for example. Tim Saudi, Mitchell Johnson, Ambati Raidu, Saurabh Tiwari, so many, man.
Even a chance. Naya team banega.
So, exactly. So ideally, it should be the Premier League, and it should have 12 to 16 teams, but even a 10 would do for now, which gives at least some more opportunities to these players, and then suddenly you see that there is talent out there, whether it's at the Indian level or the foreign level. So you have every year new stars are being thrown out of Big Bash or even a CPL or whatever. But where do you accommodate all of them?
Yeah.
So Travis Head actually came in when Gale and AB and Virat, everybody started flopping. And then the pressure came on him to start performing. It was like, "Acha, hum log tino nahi kar rahe, kuch kar le yaar." It's like, so while Travis Head would walk into any T20 team, so there is no doubt about that. So the format, and because of, like this year's IPL was just 45-46 days because of the Champions Trophy. So within that, there is the problems of accommodating more teams.
Okay.
Hopefully, as cricket itself or ICC gets an understanding of what to do with tests and ODIs and T20s. Now one more global destination league is coming up in South Africa.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the pressure. So there will be simultaneously leagues running. Earlier at least चलो 2 महीने इसका है, 2 महीना मेरा है, 2 महीना तेरा है. अभी तो साथ में चलेगा. Leagues will be running parallel to each other. So Chris Gale will have to choose between Gale. कि Bangladesh जाऊं या Caribbean में जाऊं.
Those days are gone. Now the franchisees have the option whether to pick Gale or not, because he
Gale is an
has
example.
really disappointed for the last 1 year. Big Bash, Bangladesh Premier League, Ram Slam. Now he hasn't lived up to his billing.
Let's talk about this one issue. We talk about IPL as the Premier League. सब कुछ best है यहाँ पे. What about umpiring decisions?
So howlers, man, so many. I know umpiring is not easy when you have 35,000-40,000 fans barking orders at you, screaming on top of their voices, and the excessive appealing. When I look at Parthiv Patel, if I had some power, I would ban him for 2 years straight away. I mean, he is that obnoxious guy, man. He gets to your nerves. Why do you have to appeal when you know there is daylight between bat and ball? Why? So that is something more concerning, And eventually what happens is, when a big guy like MS Dhoni, now classic case of Rohit Sharma, Washington Sundar, there was an inside edge. But when MS is appealing, you don't say no. And that's how.
So Parthiv is appealing. You can say he's an obnoxious.
S Ravi or some Shamsuddin succumb to that appeal. Now, the only way to eradicate human errors is by introducing DRS. We'll obviously talk more on that, but this is what I have to say about umpiring decisions.
Yeah, but Steven Smith was out in that Parthiv Patel's appeal.
But Rahul Tripathi wasn't out.
Exactly. So there is a leveler always.
Let's average it out, 1 or 2 decisions every match. So all teams benefited, so you have to
KKR benefited, I guess, the most.
5 times. Yeah. And Mumbai suffered equally. Not equally. Mumbai suffered 4 or 6 decisions going against them. Still they made it.
So probably they got good decisions also where they shouldn't have.
Yes.
That's fine. I think it shows that technology, like runouts, I mean, a fraction of a centimeter and you are given out nowadays because of the it going up to the third umpire.
And also majority Indian umpires committed errors. So there was one, I can't recollect his name, 6 decisions. I want to see the report card. Anyway.
So Parthiv को भी ban कर दे, एक umpire को भी ban कर दे.
चलो. Okay, guys. On that note, we'll wrap this show. It was a good season. We'll come up with another episode where we can say we'll talk about how IPL should move ahead.
How can it be a better
in
product?
Coming years. In coming years.
Some pointers into what can be done.
Yes.
From a fan's point
of course, great matches. Great for
great
Indian
crowd
fans,
also, I must
everything.
add.
So
yes. And Mohali, we saw a full house.
Yeah, for a change.
For a change, and I think smart move by the BCCI. They said, okay, Kings 11 Punjab, you play 3 matches in Indore, you play 3 in Kanpur, and you play only 2 in Mohali. That's enough. And everybody said, okay, only 2 games out of 14, we have to make it to the stadium.
But even Kanpur, Indore, they were also
absolutely. And I think Suresh Raina played a very important role because he's the local guy. Everybody wants to see him. The IPL normally doesn't go to that part of India. So again, talk about fan park. So many small unheard names, man.
Yeah.
What a response. So
I was very much happy with the Hyderabad crowd. During the presentation ceremony, when Mohammad Siraj was given or he was collecting awards for his teammates, there was so much of uproar in the crowd.
Local guy, man. And
so these are small things that the league having localites in the teams, which naturally, creates affinity for the fans. You come to chase them because otherwise it's like what Ben Stokes said. For us, every ground was a home ground because of Dhoni. It didn't matter who was playing. People just wanted to see Dhoni bat.
I was surprised, that happened in Wankhede as well.
Yeah, it is a very rare thing.
It all started with ABD.
हाँ, पर ये साल ABD कुछ किया नहीं, विराट ने कुछ किया नहीं, तो धोनी पे
pressure आ गया. There you go.
Okay, guys. That's a wrap. You can read all our articles on IPL or thefangarage.com. You can connect us via Twitter at The Fan Garage and on Facebook at The Fan Garage. You can listen to our podcast on IndusVox Media, SoundCloud, iTunes, Audiboom, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcasts galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.